so we're getting back together and touring.
Yeah, it'll definitely do that.
Hello.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom, the Jewish hello. Alright, I think this will do. Will you say something really quick?
Something really quick.
Don't do that.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
But can I do that?
You may do that.
Yeah, you
can
can
do
do
that.
Okay.
I can do that.
Okay.
I asked that
Just be
Tyler
careful, man.
Doesn't do it.
Whoa, take it easy.
Just because I don't like him very much.
Back off, man.
Scoot back a tad. Or actually don't.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah, I know.
I speak softly.
One more time.
Hello. Hi.
Say
Check.
shalom.
Shalom.
Give those S's.
Chlamydia. Syphilis.
I like it.
Gonorrhea.
No way.
Diarrhea.
Nuh-uh.
Diarrhea lady.
We are recording. Are you ready?
Hepatitis.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Are you ready?
I'm just here, man.
Alright, just so you know before we start this,
Yeah.
we're going to air this,
Going to air this.
and you can't do anything about it legally.
Legally.
Yeah, okay. Hi, welcome to Your Thoughts Podcast. I'm Jesse Martinez.
Oh, I'm Tyler Beck.
This is our guest, Alex. Forgot your last name.
His name is...
And my first name, apparently.
Is it
Aaron
not
Quintero.
Aaron! It's
My
Aaron.
God.
You know
There's
this
something
guy?
with an A.
I,
Son of a bitch. That's not my name.
he is the lead singer of Nirvana.
Foo Fighters, actually. That's a common
This is
mistake.
Dave Grohl. He lied to me a lot.
I'm
Starcross.
still alive. Actually, I also started out as a drummer.
What?
And ended
Me
up as a singer,
neither,
yeah.
dude. I've also never drummed before.
What?
Oh. I didn't know either.
Right? Like, you think you've seen me do it. I've never done it before.
So, were you playing in another band when you were drumming?
I was trying to start a band. Like, it was junior high school. Everyone was like, oh, yeah, it'd be so cool if we were in a band, because we were, like,
Yeah.
all these rejects. And, like, yeah, we're going to start a death metal band. And then I, like, recorded some demos doing, like, guitar and drums and vocals, and no one else was doing anything. So I was like, whatever, I guess I'm not playing drums. Yeah, somehow I ended up singing.
Yeah, and we were just listening to your EP, which, do you have a name for that EP?
Oh, it's a Starcross EP.
That's just what it's a Starcross
Starcross
EP?
EP.
I like it. That's good.
Yeah.
This guy
That's like
can-
our Elena Avenue EP.
Yeah.
Just self-titled.
It's just self-titled.
Yeah,
That's the best way to go.
So the thing is, we had this collection of songs. We did 3 with Joe Gerhard from Sleepwalker, and then we did 3 with Nick Matthews from Get Scared in LA. And we're like, okay, we're gonna make an EP out of this, but what are we gonna do? We had a bunch of different names floating around for like albums and shit. But we didn't know what to do for cover art, so I had actually I had taken a picture on the freeway, just of like cars going by at night. I don't advise doing that.
No. It's a dangerous, risky business.
Yeah, I just like I threw the logo on that. I was like, what are we gonna call this? There's nothing that goes with this. I'm like, okay, we'll just call it Starcross EP. Put a little more thought into the new one. It's an acoustic EP. We called it Watch It Break.
Oh, good. Is there any like particular meaning to watching it break, or are you just a masochist?
I'm actually a sadomasochist.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Congratulations. Really?
you.
That's a
Yeah.
hard business to get into.
Yeah.
I've tried a lot.
It's painful.
It's indeed.
I mean,
Oh, it is
if
painful.
you're
I just
into
like
that.
spilled coffee down my face, and that kind of burned.
You saw me do that earlier today, too. So,
so
yeah.
good.
So for once, and I think this isn't going to happen very often, but we have another musician to talk to, and I have been very much eagerly waiting to talk music with another musician.
Yeah, musicians are so hard to
Oh, I
get in a
know.
room
Oh,
together, man.
especially
It's
one that-
ridiculous. Like, especially if you're in a band together.
Oh, yeah.
It's impossible to get everyone into the same room.
Genuinely impossible. We know. Our drummer right now is going to be mad that I say this. But he's been raving lately, like at genuine raves. Boy, do I have
God,
something to tell you about this rave. I'll tell you later. But yeah, he's been raving, and we have very limited time to practice every week. Practice Saturdays. Now, I am no saint when it comes to showing up on practice. And so there's been times where me and Tyler and Nick and Lester have not been able to show up. But they were for genuine reasons, like I don't want to go, or fuck this band. But he's been raving a
Or
lot.
I
and
shat
it's-
my pants.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's been raving a lot, and it's kind of been a bummer because we started recording demos for the album that we just wrote. So it's not a huge deal, but also we can't continue until he records his drum parts. And that's been difficult.
I told you I started out as a drummer. Do you want me to
started out
record
as
the
a
drum
drummer.
parts?
I think you'd be pretty mad.
Yeah, I got a Pro Masters kit in my garage.
What?
Yeah, if you want to.
Like,
And
master, like you mastered the skill, and then also you're being paid as a professional master at the drums. Is that what you're saying right now?
Well, I'm saying the
think the
kit
brand
is
is-
called a Pro Masters kit.
I know what you
There's
meant.
some moon gels on it, and I got some drum mics and shit.
Oh, we just bought
Somebody
a bunch
was
of
mentioning to me recently we should try moon gels on the toms.
moon gels. Is
Yeah.
that something that I've heard of?
Moon gels are rad.
Are they
Yeah,
pretty-
rather than using tape.
Oh, is it just the same concept?
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's like
But it doesn't leave
there's
residue
little
and you can move
sticky
them around.
things, and then you can. I read that you can just like wash them off and reuse them.
That's pretty cool. Yeah,
I've never tried it though.
We had issues.
Kind of scared to.
With our first recording for one of the EP songs. The floor tom resonated so badly, and we're not for the demos. We're not soundproofing the room, so that had a lot to do with it. But also, it was really, really bad. Like it would resonate for like an hour, and then it would stop. So it was too powerful.
An hour. You
full
recorded
hour.
that for
Like a
an
whole
hour.
Oh man,
hour.
it was a long day. We had to hit it, and then we waited for an hour, and then we tried it again. And
Well,
like 45 minutes.
In
and
modern
that's-
times, a lot of people will like sample the kit that you're recording with and then
Right.
replace with it. So did you
Wow.
like just record it so like as long as it's sustained, and you
Oh,
like
yeah,
you got
yeah.
like one tom hit that
Yeah,
lasted an hour?
huge tom hit that
That is
lasted an hour.
ridiculous.
Oh, it
it
was
had
ridiculous.
to be like 500 megs.
Oh, it was ridiculous. Yeah, and we were clipping the whole time. It clipped for like a whole 45 minutes, and then it started slowing down. It started coming down a little after that last 15. But yeah, no, so we had some issues there. We have a book. This is our first recording process that we're doing by ourselves. Our last EP was recorded by Cash
Filburn.
Filburn?
Filburn.
Yeah.
And he did a really
I'm
good
familiar.
job.
He has a mustache now.
He does. Have you seen? Are you on his Snapchat?
I'm not.
Dude,
I'm not.
this dude
I don't
is-
really use Snapchat. Like to me, Snapchat is like when people want to say shit that they don't want repeated, or when they
Right.
want to like send nudes that they don't want
Breasts,
distributed breasts. Yeah, yeah. like-
Distributed breasts.
God, when I was on Snapchat, I saw so many male breasts. It was
Oh, there's
ridiculous.
not enough male breasts in my
Really?
honest opinion. Yeah, all these females are
All
showing
right, well,
their
I
breasts
need-
off, and I'm just saying.
I only
I
see
need to get
Lester's
you in
male
contact
breasts.
with some guys.
Oh, please, yes, I need
Absolutely.
Lester's breasts. They're not
Lester's breasters.
breasters.
Those ones are nice. I like seeing
They're
Lester's
too
breasts.
hard. They're too much.
He's,
you know?
he's been working
like a
them.
nice squishy breast.
What about
Like
Uncle
Batman.
Fester's?
Uncle Fester's
Uncle Fester's.
Uncle fucker.
Uncle fucker. So, it's our first time recording by ourselves, and we've obviously run into some snags, and a lot of them we ran into and then we fixed because we have some sort of knowledge about recording, and so we have a book now that we're writing.
What the
like-
problem is,
Yeah.
what the potential cause of it is, the potential solution, and then the actual solution.
so that we never run into them again. So we have like a go-to troubleshoot book, and it's neat because obviously we could just look this shit up.
Yeah,
You could just find it, but
everything's on YouTube.
we're going through this journey.
Or lynda.com.
Linda's
That site has
Linda.
been very helpful.
We're going through this journey because I feel like if we can find the problem and then find the solution ourselves, it'll make us better recording engineers, quote unquote. So that's what we're doing. So we're trying to stay away from finding the solution online and just doing it ourselves. And then we write down the solution ourselves, and then we didn't talk about this, but I think we should.
That's not true. I think
compare.
Nick looks it up.
I haven't seen him do it.
Yeah, I feel like that would
Be
that would waste a
faster?
lot of time.
Yeah.
Just
you
leave
know?
me alone, man. I just want to go through the journey, man.
I don't think that's actually how we do it.
That's how I do it.
You're like delaying the journey.
Let me be, man. That's okay. It's already been 2.5 years. I can do another 14.
It's taken forever for us to write this album.
It took a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
What's the situation with your band? Because I know Kenneth was leaving like a while ago,
Oh yeah, Kenneth left a long time ago.
and the bassist was like a fill-in, wasn't he? Or
So since Warped Tour 2014, we had.
I think I was there for that.
I think he was our second bass player. His name is Josh Morris, and he's been back with us since then. And then my lead guitarist, Ruben Ariano, had actually left the band for a little while. And then he came back, and now my original drummer, Kevin Easterday, he was in like old bands in the scene, Tainted Winter and Aesthetic Silhouette, which probably no one knows by now. But yeah, now he's back drumming for us, or he's kind of been back drumming for us, and Then I actually have my old singer, Andrew Gross. He's going to be playing guitar and keys and doing some dual vocals.
Cool.
For actually our last show, which is going to be on June 22nd at Club Red. So that's going to be the last Starcross show.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah. We actually have some other things in the works right now.
Huh?
Was Just a Night ever your drummer?
Yeah, he was for a minute.
You say that condescendingly? Juicy.
We just don't really work together creatively. There were things that he wanted to do. He was kind of trying to steer in the direction of like glam rock, not like sonically with the music, but like his whole like stage persona and the way that he was playing the drums. Which, I mean, it would be fine if he had written the drums that way, but we had a bunch of drummers like
songs.
Huh?
Pre-written songs.
Yeah. We had like two other drummers that had contributed to the writing before him, and he actually didn't write anything for any of the songs. We weren't able to work in any of the songs that we were writing while he was in the band because he had this thing where he needed to know things in the context of a set, not just like a song. So it just made things a little challenging.
There's a word for that. Ego. You know? It sounds like his is just huge. And it's a little ridiculous. You know?
I mean, he knows what he wants to do, and I respect that. But what he wants to do and what I want to do...
Well, that's there now.
What he wants to do and what I want to do and what the rest of the band wants to do, they're completely different things.
I think as a musician...
So it's just creative differences.
Yeah.
Well, because I've been in Elena Avenue my entire career of being a musician.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Right, you too. Yeah. See?
Yeah. Yeah, do you remember that Halocene show we played?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You remember that Halocene show that we all played as Elena Avenue?
Yeah, I had bronchitis.
What's that? Yeah, he wasn't there.
Or the Joe's
Because of
Grotto
bronchitis,
show.
where you were, everybody was like, yay, and then we opened and everybody was like, boo, because that happened. No, I've been in Elena Avenue, like, how long? I never remember, like 5.
I think we've been doing it for 6 years.
And I have never done anything serious aside from that, but a couple of times I've been pulled aside to do just fun stuff with not really bands but other musicians who want to. We all do that. Somebody plays a guitar as well and you play another instrument and you work together just for fun. But never.
Yeah, I've been talking about like filling in on drums for bands. And I've played guitar for Perfect Sense. There was a few other things in there. I can't remember everything, but yeah, like filled in with different instruments.
Yeah, because I play drums, I play bass, I play guitar, I play banjo, I play
skin flute. Yeah,
the skin flute.
He's very good at that one.
Yeah. Oh man, I mastered that. I haven't mastered any other instruments, but
what about
skin
baiting?
Flute.
You haven't mastered baiting?
No, I haven't mastered baiting. That one's a tricky one for me. I can't get it. I can't.
He needs help.
I need help. I'll have.
It's
Tyler
that dude
in.
touch.
Yeah, well,
like,
he'll come in and he'll show
the
me
dude
how it's
touch
supposed to be
doesn't-
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not there. But
Because you have a dude hand.
I
and,
do.
Like
Tyler has female
it's like
hands.
yeah. So it's like getting a hand
the
job
same
from a
size
dude, and like
hands, Brandy.
if you're not into
Yeah,
hand jobs from
right.
dudes, like it's not gonna work.
Just like all butt sex is gay butt sex.
All okay, yeah. So no matter what, butt stuff is gay unless you say no homo first.
Why?
Like if it's with a woman, like you're committed, you're with your girlfriend. Like if you don't say no homo first, then it's gay.
I don't know if it's gay though, because like, if I looked at a butthole that was not it was like a disembodied butthole, I feel like I could tell the difference between a man butthole and a female butthole.
Okay, so if there's a disembodied butthole,
Right.
then
A
that person no
disembodied
longer exists.
So it's not a male.
So you can't
nor a
identify
female.
the
Because
gender.
like if you cut out someone's butthole, then they just like they drop out of existence
that's
entirely.
Right. That's right. Because if you don't have a butthole, you don't exist. That's
Yeah.
just the
That's
case.
some shit.
Yeah, one
That's
time.
some shit.
Yeah,
That's pretty crazy.
yeah, one time at a job I used to work. So like, I have ripped jeans,
I see
and there was
that.
like
you need to patch those up, buddy.
Yeah. they're too far gone.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, definitely.
I have some that like they're ripped back here for some reason.
Dude, I
It's
had
weird.
party pants that used to be ripped from here to here. Tyler remembers them because I
Yeah,
would
people
throw
would tell you
parties,
get new pants, and
then
you'd be
would
like, I
not
don't
do
want
it.
to.
Yep, and I didn't want to because I was a child.
Yeah. Anyway, so there was like a hole in my back pocket,
Sure.
and then one of my coworkers turns around and she's like, "You have a hole in your butt," and I'm like, "I
Doesn't
assume
everybody?
everyone does."
I don't.
Well, then you
But
don't
I also
exist.
don't exist.
Yeah, shit
right.
just comes out of his mouth
No,
instead of his
it
ass.
doesn't, because I
I'm
don't
hearing
exist.
it.
Yeah.
It's all the shit that I'm saying. I don't ever really know what I'm talking about. But
It's
to
like
my main
diarrhea
point-
lady downstairs.
To my main point, I have played, and you have played, and Tyler has played with different musicians. Not necessarily other bands, though I have played with genuine other bands. It's not a side
Yeah, I've
project.
jammed
but
and diddled
for
with other-
fun, I have a buddy who doesn't know how to play guitar with a guy who barely knows how to play drums, and then there's me who's more skilled than the two of them. Not to say anything negative, but I've been practicing far longer than they have. And they suck, and I suck with them, but it's fun, right? There's really no creative juices, but we're all jamming, and it sounds like shit, and I personally love it. But there was only one person out of all of that we could not play with, any of us individually, and that was what was his name? Summer Strahan's ex-boyfriend had a kid with him.
Oh,
Will. He played bass, and we were all kind of friends with him for a little while. And he lived in a garage, and he had a bunch of basses and a bass amp, and he learned really good. He could do triplets and his arpeggios, and he could arpeggiate very well. He learned really good technique, but when you tried to play with him, it was more than creative control gone wrong. It was more than creative differences. It was, if you don't do it my way, get the fuck out. And you can't play with someone like that because we both have creative juices. You know, he's a music dictator, and it wasn't fun to play with. You know,
I'm kind of stuck on the triplets. Are triplets like a measure of skill?
no triplets.
Just
Yeah, it's literally just
like that.
dun, 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 but it's very hard to master. It's really really difficult.
Well, I have a strong like percussion background.
Yeah.
Like I started out when I was really young playing piano. Then I moved to violin for a little while, and then I started playing percussion in band. Then I got a drum set, and then I joined drumline. And
Really?
like triplets were just like bread and butter.
Yeah. Oh, for the percussions, yeah. See, it's a little different. And I play bass, but I can't slap. My technique is I can pretty much play bass to Green Day. You know, like if you put a Green Day song in front of me, I'll grab a pick it out, and I can obviously do finger picking and shit like that.
When I think Green Day bass, I always think Longview.
Yeah, because it's like the one where the
It's
bass
so
is more
groovy.
prominent. Yeah, it's really really groovy. But triplets, I've
It's like
I can't do
swing.
them because I'm left-handed. I taught myself right-handed guitar before I even knew that left-handed guitars existed. So I never switched over to lefty or lefty flip because I was already trained, and I kind of hate myself for it. And so obviously I taught myself right-handed bass too, because it's really hard to find a left-handed bass or even a lefty flip bass. It fucking sucks. It's hard to find. But I
My
could
brother
never
actually
learn-
has a flipped lefty bass.
Really? That's ridiculous and also super cool.
Yeah, because like it's so hard to play
Yeah.
because the knobs are on top, so you're
yeah.
trying to hit the strings. It's just like
yeah.
it's a nightmare.
So, but
And the nut's broken. Somehow he busted a nut.
What? That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're actually serious about.
I'm absolutely serious. He busted a nut.
Because the joke there was perfect as
Like-
well. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, the nut is what holds the strings in place at the top of the fretboard.
It's only broken on the side of the bottom string.
There's the top or the high E or the low E. Think tone.
We're talking bass.
Oh, you're talking.
We're talking bass.
Right. So I got it. Thank you.
Only 4 strings.
The
No,
G, I
bottom
got
string.
it.
Bottom string's the low
Yeah,
string.
so the low E. Right? Don't look at me like that. Anyway,
find out.
to finish my thought before I completely forget, like I always do, my technique with my right hand, especially with finger picking, very difficult because it's all here. the speed and accuracy has always been in my left hand because I'm dominantly left-handed. So learning the finger picking, especially on bass.
You just gotta like diddle the air all day.
Yeah, well I do, and then also I have a boyfriend, so diddle him. It's Tyler.
That's not me.
It is you. Come on, man. We talked about this.
Okay, maybe sometimes.
Yeah, all the time. So yeah, it was very hard for me to learn triplets, or even I see you still do it.
He's practicing.
He is.
In the air.
Now do the triplets. You got to do the 3. Oh, that shit. You wouldn't even.
It's because you don't get that sound.
No way. You got to do a finger roll. Now rave. Lester will appreciate the sound of this. Anyway.
The sound of the occasional wrist rub.
No, yeah, there was no sound.
The wrist.
Them wrists.
Yeah, cool. So, you're not quitting, but Starcross is going to fade away.
Yeah.
And then you're going to start something new, which was...
It's actually going to burn out.
It's just
not fade away.
It's just going to burn up.
Yeah, we're going out in blaze of glory. So, this last show that we're doing, it's actually kind of symbolic. I'm basically going to martyr Starcross. I used to book shows a lot a few years ago, and I'd get like these core bands that I would always book, and then I'd like get more bands in, and then we'd all...
band, is that a band with like a really solid core in between
yes,
them?
not
metalcore. Not
metalcore.
Strong core in
yeah,
themselves.
Like
as
they do a lot of
community. So
yeah.
we made it like a community. So we'd get these bands in, everyone would be friends, and then everyone in the crowd would mingle. There'd be a giant orgy. Everyone would get super close, shows, really. And then like everyone would just stay for like all the bands,
that's
and
awesome.
That's like the goal. Like everyone should stay for everyone if they can.
I think that if you go to a show and you're only there for the headliner or the band that invited you, you're a piece of shit, and the whole band, every other band should jump you and your friends who just came for the one band. I think they should just...
Honestly, I don't think there's anything wrong with just coming in for one band. Like, I've done it too.
No,
everyone has done it.
I've never done that 36 times.
Everyone has done it. Like, if anyone says that they haven't, then they're full of shit.
I went to a Gojira concert, and I stayed for the whole thing, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to do it because Mastodon sucks. I don't like them, but they were the headliner, and Gojira came first.
I like Mastodon.
Ah, that's okay. We can have different opinions. You're just wrong.
Saber-toothed tiger.
How many?
Tyrannosaurus.
I think I saw Gojira with Tesseract, and I didn't like Tesseract.
Yeah, if you go to a Gojira concert...
So Tesseract is actually, it's called the Cosmic Cube. They just
I liked
that for the
concept.
MCU.
The concept of it was really cool, but I didn't like their music. I think it was Tesseract.
Well, I feel like if Tesseract met you, they'd be like, "Who's this mouse person? I don't like him. He's kind of an assoul."
They even had a shirt
He's the
that
great
I was
mouse
like,
detective.
I would buy that shirt if I liked your music. Because the shirt was cool. It was the Tesseract.
Do you know how many people come up to us and go, "I would buy your shirt if I liked your music"?
I hope they do. Because that means that they liked my artwork.
Oh, that's true. Like, oh, this is so cool, but you guys sucked, and I can't be promoting you like that. I don't want other people's ears to bleed. And that's pretty good. How many bands do you know that just talk trash on their own band even though they don't really believe it? Some people do believe it and they still go with it because they like how trash it sounds. You know?
How trash.
Yeah. I mean, I don't genuinely think we sound like trash. We work hard. We're trying to be a professional band. Sometimes it's fun to harp on yourself, but gets a little old.
Can you play the harp?
Will you grab my harp really quick?
Show
this full up real quick. No, I can't play the harp. But yeah, people trash on their own bands because they think it's funny. I never saw it funny, and I do it myself.
Yeah,
I still don't think it's funny.
I've had bandmates that did that, and I'm just like,
why?
I mean,
it's
trying.
like self-defeating.
Yeah, because you've never gone up to somebody even jokingly and said, "Hey, come see our band. It's awful." All they just heard was
what
your
I
band
tell
is
people.
awful.
Like, sometimes when I'm introducing myself to people, I'm like, "Hi, I'm Aaron, and I pretend that I can sing."
Well,
like,
immediately
I don't have
psychopaths, and I don't want to talk to you.
Like, I don't have too much confidence, like, in my voice or my ability to sing, but I still do it anyway, just because I enjoy it. Well. And like, I'm more of a writer. I'm not really like a singer or a screamer or a guitarist or any of that shit. I'm just a writer.
Composer.
And then
you compose music.
Can you play guitar as well?
Yeah.
So you're like a multi-instrumentalist?
Yeah, I play piano, violin, guitar, bass, drums, and vocals.
That's 6. That's a lot.
A little bit of ocarina.
Most
not too
people
much.
can't even play one of the 6 things. Use just 7 things. I can't do that.
Well, I'm a jack of all trades and a master of baiting.
Right.
Master.
And again, if you need, I could use some pointers. In all honesty, if we're gonna talk about masters being baited. Just
Anyway,
continue. Yeah. Tyler, what's been going on with you, man? Let's think your thoughts.
So we tracked the vocals for a demo on Saturday. Him and I did lead vocals and backup vocals. That
Guess
went
which
pretty
one
well.
was which?
No, seriously, guess.
Dexter.
Dexter's the
He's
vocals.
fucking right, dude. Though, like we got the voice actor of Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory to do a song with us, and also Dave Mustaine.
Didn't the original Dexter die?
I don't know,
Or something
man.
like that.
I maybe
Like the
watched
voice
3
actor?
episodes
Yeah.
of that wonderful show before it got canceled. So.
Dexter's Laboratory
Yeah.
or the show?
No, not the show Dexter. That's a disturbing show, though. No, the end pissed me off, and it made the beauty of the first few seasons destroyed.
Oh, with like the chick.
Yeah, like don't.
You guys are gonna spoil
Yeah,
it.
don't spoilers. Fuck it. His sister dies. He doesn't kill her though. It's his brother. It's his brother.
It's been years since the show finished. Should have watched it. I never watched any of it.
Don't, dude. Because
Never even watched the first episode.
No. It's awful.
Just don't watch it because it sucks at the end.
Yeah, dude. It ruins the whole. Did you think that it ruined the entire series at the end there?
I did not watch the entire series.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, did I spoil it for you? Awesome. I've never done
I
that.
I
Did you
had
watch
no
the
intention
last
of watching it.
episode?
And you
No,
shouldn't.
just hearsay.
Yeah, just
Like,
don't.
Just hearsay.
It'll ruin everything, man.
I don't even know anything about. I just remember that meme that was like, "Supplies, bitch." Some fries, bitch.
Supplies, motherfucker.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
yeah.
bitch.
Motherfucker.
Some fries,
I
motherfucker.
apologize.
Super size, motherfucker.
Super size.
Yeah, good shit.
I'm just like getting more and more awake as we go
I
because
see.
this
'Cause you're
coffee's like
just
going.
downing that. It's pretty nuts. Oh, he's gonna pour it all over his body. That'll look really sexy.
Nah, dude, I don't want to stain my Oswald shirt.
That is a really good Oswald shirt. It's just Mickey Mouse with longer ears, so I like it.
It's actually not though. It's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Is that a rabbit?
Yeah, he came before
He's
me.
wearing the same shorts
he really?
and everything. Did
Yeah.
he come before?
Yeah,
Oh,
but Walt Disney didn't have
a
the rights
racist
to him.
and a ripoff. What a masterful.
They're
plan.
both his.
No, are they really?
But he didn't have the rights because he produced it under like another company, and then when he started his own company, he couldn't use it.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, and so he finally like.
What if that was the thing that we know today, and on your shirt was like Mickey Mouse, and people were like, "Oh, this is a ripoff of Oswald the Bunny."
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit? God, you need to watch some old school cartoons.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, I never have either.
Check it out, Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Is was his alt. That's pretty neat.
Old cartoons were fucked up though.
Yeah, no, they were disturbing. Well, they were true though. They weren't. They were disturbingly racist or just really hardcore on the.
They weren't true.
No, they weren't. No, shut up and let me talk.
Okay,
They
go
were
on.
true in the aspect that they didn't like
He doesn't know what
a
he's
lot
saying.
of subliminal messaging inside of like old school cartoons, especially political, and you had to kind of be aware of political situations to see them, and they were pretty brutal if you really think about it. I don't have any examples because I haven't seen an old school cartoon in a long time, but
What? I was actually whistling Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it. So
got it now.
we started this because we were sitting around one day just talking politics, as we often do, because we have very similar ideas on politics and political debates. And I was thinking, when you hear about politics, it's mostly from politicians with agendas, and they want you on their side, whether good or bad. You know, they want people siding with them as much as possible.
I mostly
But
hear
never-
about politics on Facebook from people with very strong opinions, not very informed, but very strong opinions.
Right. So we wanted this to be about people who aren't heard, who would like to be heard, about any opinion that they have on any subject, not necessarily politics, but we've found
Butt stuff.
a lot of butt stuff.
Yeah,
Right, that's right. We want to hear what you want to talk about. And it doesn't have to be politics, but the last 4 that we did were strongly politically based,
or religion or spirituality or
exactly.
philosophy.
But if it wants to be about butt stuff, and when we promoted this on Facebook, somebody asked what the topics would be about, because a lot of people, they go on podcasts and they have a specific topic that they'd like to talk about, and they want to hear your opinion on it. But I told her, I said, if you wanted to talk about farts,
Oh, I saw that.
That's exactly what we should talk about, because that's
I saw
what
that.
you want to talk
That was in the
about.
comments.
Right. So the whole idea is that you get to be heard. Not a lot of people get to be heard these days, so we want the opportunity for as many people who would like to come on and join us to talk about whatever, and we're not here to argue with you.
It was surprising how many people reached out because, like, we have a platform available to them and they want to talk.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And as you a musician and as us a musician, I'm sure that was when you did this, like, oh, we get to talk music. I'm sure that's exactly what went through my head. It's like,
Well,
I'm excited.
I'm just like, cool. I
Yeah.
want to do a podcast.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And some people do that
Like
too.
I
They're
don't,
I've
I
never
don't
been on
fucking
one,
care what
you
the
know?
topic
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
Like, I just sit around and bullshit the whole time. I
And
don't really care.
that's-
As long as there's like, as long as we're able to like keep up the conversation,
Right,
you know.
Right.
We have not yet, and we're still very in the early process of this, that we have not had a guest who we can't talk to. It hasn't happened yet, but we've only had 4 so far, maybe 3. I think you're the 4th one.
Yeah, I think so.
It's kind of difficult to find people that you can't actually talk to, because those people typically don't come forward.
Right. They're not just gonna have the urge to be like, oh, I want to try this, and then they get here and then they can't do
Yeah,
it.
and those are like the underachievers, the people that are just
Yeah.
you know cruising by,
Yeah.
just floating on.
Yeah.
I think it's
which-
more that they're stuck inside their head, so they can't
Well,
bring it out.
that's definitely part of it, but like I don't know, some people they're afraid to do something different or do something new, or maybe something that they're not comfortable with.
Right.
I actually had a conversation with my girlfriend the other day. She's like, why do some people avoid working hard? It's like,
They don't
those-
believe in themselves. They don't think they're capable of working more than what they're
not necessarily. So
That could be one aspect.
It could be, absolutely. But what a lot of people do, they get stuck in their own way. They do just enough to get by, to not get noticed, because when you work hard, the expectations for you are higher.
Yeah.
If you're just staying low, then no one's going to expect anything more of you.
It's
Right.
mundane, and people prefer the mundane.
It's safe. That's
When-
what it is. People
don't
want
wanna
safety and security.
Get out of
And-
their comfort zones.
And when you take risks, there's the chance of failure, and a lot of people just want to avoid that altogether.
For example, in my job, my line of work, I'm a lead in a mellow mushroom kitchen in Tempe, and I worked hard to get the position that I'm in, and I'm continuing to rise because for a lot of
Rise
reasons,
like the crust.
yeah, rise. Yes, I look at the crust and I say rise, and it does it, and that's why I'm in the position that I'm in.
You
because
feel
I'm
powerful.
All rise, motherfucker.
They call me Jesus Christ. Everybody's heard that, but that's where I come from. But I'm trying my hardest. There are people that have been in that kitchen for 6 years that I'm climbing over. But that's not.
Why don't they go
because-
home?
That's not because
It's their life, man.
it is because
Pizza is their life.
the
Pizza is
particular
life.
person I'm talking.
I know
about,
some people that are like super obsessed with pizza.
The particular person I'm talking about has been there for 6 years. The company's only been around for 6 years. He has a
Started from the bottom, now we're at the bottom.
still there, right? He has a degree that he could easily take off with. But as you're saying,
The
it is
dough never
very hard
rose.
for a lot of people with maybe social anxiety or like lack of social skills to move and advance because of how comfortable they are there. When they thought even in this position that they're in, they would never be comfortable. Now they've achieved
It's
that.
not even
Well,
that they're
like,
comfortable either.
Yeah,
They
you
just-
can't really like blame
No.
people for that. Like everyone wants something safe,
Right.
and that's something safe. Not trying harder is something safe.
Right.
But if something were to ever happen to that, if say the restaurant were to go down, or they had to make cuts, then they'd possibly lose that safety and
Yep.
security. Instead of trying for something better, working harder to move up, and then build up that resume and move elsewhere, that could like all fall apart. Like they're putting all their eggs in one basket because that they feel that is safe. That is their home. That is
It's
their nest.
stability.
That's all they know.
So I'm climbing over people that have been there way longer and have been offered the job that I am, as of right now, trying to achieve. They've been offered it multiple times and they've declined it, preferring to just stay the grunt of the kitchen and the backbone of the kitchen because, as you're saying, it is the safest place to be. Once you get into management in anywhere, your job is now on the line on how well you do.
And how
Whereas
well
if you-
other people do.
Right, because your job is based
They're
on
a reflection
management.
of
You're
you.
trying to make sure that everybody's doing their job, and if they don't do their job, you're not doing your job to make sure that they do their job. It's a hard job to keep. It's a hard job to get. So people, they won't get there. The money's much better, and you start making salary. But some people feel, rightly so, that money.
I thought you grew celery.
No, actually, it's created-
manufactured.
It's
You
make it,
manufactured. Yeah,
That's why when you
make
open
it.
up like a CD case with a bunch of CDs, it smells like celery.
Right, because it's the
It's all
same factory.
manufactured.
It's the
I've
same
never
factory.
I've never had that experience.
Really?
Really?
Yeah.
It definitely smells like celery to me.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, because they make them in the same factory. It's CD/celery factories where they produce celery.
Is that why they call it cellophane?
Yes, it's actually
made of celery.
It was meant to be called celeriaphane, but
It sounded too much like diarrhea.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted diarrheaphane, so it's
Diarrhea
cellophane.
fanny. Yeah.
Very, very
No one wants that.
wafty, smelly. So yeah, that's neat.
Celeryphane.
So fucking stupid. My God. Hey, what's your favorite coffee? Awkward.
No,
weird silence.
Okay, so what do you
mean,
mean by favorite coffee?
I'll
Like
figure it out, man.
Do you mean like creamer or
Yeah.
like the coffee itself?
The
or-
coffee, like
coffee
favorite
place?
place?
Yeah. No, don't forget about the place. Like, when you get coffee, go anywhere. What's your favorite coffee?
I would either get actually, so my old routine, I would make my Folgers black silk every morning.
That does sound good.
I'd drink that black, and then
You drink it black?
yeah,
Ah.
sometimes sugar, but a lot of the times just straight black. That way, like
It grows your chest hairs.
Hair on your chest.
Oh, you
Look at
actually
that.
have
That's the black coffee right there. That's what it is. That's why, see,
Yep, there's one for every cup of coffee that I've consumed,
so much.
and like there's I've had so much coffee that it's like starting to
Oh
grow
my
here
God.
too.
See, I drink mine with creamer, and now look at the little tiny chesters that I've got.
That's so cute.
I'm drinking 1,000, but they grow at like half
You're like
the
a
pace.
baby man.
Yes, I'm a ban is what they call them, or a maybe.
Maybe.
Person.
Yeah, maybe,
Baby
yeah.
person. I like
Yeah,
cream.
so-
I don't like it black.
I'd have my black coffee in the morning, sometimes with sugar, and then on lunch I'd go and get a couple iced coffees, like vanilla iced coffee, and then at night, before bed, I'd go to like Coffee Rush and get like a frozen blended drink or whatever.
Jeez.
Yeah,
I can't. So I was just asking.
I just need caffeine
Yeah.
constantly,
all the time,
like
yeah.
even to sleep.
Well, it's
yeah.
conditioning. You've conditioned your body to need caffeine at this point.
Yeah, and I use leave-in conditioner in my hair too, so that's conditioned.
Very nice. Yes. I don't use leave-in actually. I used to, and it's very nice, especially with the curls and everything. Leave-in is perfect.
Yeah, that Garnier, man, it just
Oh, you have no idea. I'm using the
Smells so
Fructis brand label company, but now I've lost my train of thought. This is gonna happen every podcast.
derailed.
But yeah, you would
But I
withdraw.
digress.
You would start withdrawing because caffeine is very strong, very addictive.
You get like a migraine.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Sucks.
And I started drinking energy drinks like an idiot because
Yeah, that's why I don't do that same thing anymore. Like, I'll have maybe a coffee a day.
Yeah,
Days without coffee are a little bit of a struggle.
I can go
Yeah.
with days without coffee. Sometimes I'll wake up. I have a regular ass coffee maker. A lot of people have these new Keurigs things where you just press a button and coffee's fucking there. Put some
Oh,
cream in it.
okay. So I don't.
Materializes.
Those are convenient. They're
They are.
super convenient, but it's like
Extremely
not
wasteful.
enough coffee.
And it's not.
It's also-
Not enough
yeah, it
coffee,
is
and
really
It's a bunch of
wasteful.
plastic.
Well, because you can have a small, medium, large, or like extra large cup of coffee with the same amount of coffee. You don't put any more in there. The cups are the same size, and that doesn't make any sense to me. It never did.
There's
Like,
actually there's an attachment that you can get that you can put coffee grounds in it.
Oh, I've
So-
done that too. My grandpa has a Keurig.
Yeah, I have
and
one
he
of those.
doesn't
It's a
like the
refillable,
K-pots.
reusable
Yeah.
cup. Yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
have one of those.
I said K-pots because
K cups.
stupid.
K-pods.
K-pods. I was thinking of
Podcasts?
Tide
potentiometers
pods?
and
Korean
potentiometers.
podcasts?
Potentiometers.
K-pop.
K-pop, Korean pop culture. Love it.
I listen to Gangnam Style.
But Jesus. I work a
Gangnam Style.
night job. I work until 1 o'clock in the morning, and people are coming home, and I'm going into work. So I have a day, right? I have a full from like noon to like 5 o'clock. That's my day, and then I go in at 5, and I don't get home or get off work until 1, and then I'm up until 4. So you see how kind of my schedule is a little different than most people. The stare is just insane. So energy drinks have been keeping me going, and
Dude, Rockstar Boom whipped strawberry. That is.
it is delicious. You're right. But
It
my
doesn't even
favorite
taste
one-
like an energy drink.
I know it's
just
so good and creamy and nice. But the one
I don't
that
think I've
really
had that
helps
one.
me is Nos.
Yeah.
Because-
No. Okay. So, when I was working at State Farm, I was
forgot you were doing
experimenting. I was experimenting with different kinds of energy drinks, and so many of them just like made me jittery and like unfocused and like scattered.
yeah.
But Nos helped me focus. It woke me up and it kept me focused.
On a Friday night, I won't go with energy drinks all week, but Fridays and Saturdays are busiest. I usually have Saturdays off because I requested them when I started working because it's band practice and it's very important that I need that day off. But Fridays are always so busy and I'm always working Fridays. So I always know it's Friday, I'm closing, I'm going to be there for 9 hours. I need a Nos because Red Bull makes me jittery. If I drink a Red Bull, I'm shaking while I'm making pizzas.
I don't even really
and there's
like
no
Red Bull.
It's awful. It's gross. It gives you a nasty aftertaste like you just drank like powder, like baby powder. No, not you. For me, it does.
I don't think I've drank
No.
enough baby powder.
No, not
I've
baby
definitely
powder.
breathed it in before.
No, but it
Like
makes me
snorting
jittery.
lines of baby powder.
Yum,
Yeah, just
dude.
Thought it was something else.
Nice and smooth and moisturized.
Right in the it kind of smooths out the nostrils, dries it up, so you don't get that sweet nosebleed. You do that
If
before
you're
you do the
chafing,
cocaine.
it works.
And it helps with the nasal passaging. But yeah, so Red Bull makes me jittery. But Nos, like you said, focuses you the fuck. And it's the worst for you. All the shit in there is disgusting. But it helps so
We used to
much.
drink that shit all the time.
I got 7 cavities.
I drank half a Nos and my teeth started rotting.
My liver just shut down immediately.
It's so bad for you. And then we don't care. I know it's bad for me. You know it's bad for you.
Yeah.
But every Friday, I'll walk into a Circle K, I'll grab 2 of them, and then I drink them. And I know while I'm sitting, this is bad. This is bad for me. This sucks.
I'm like the
Gulp,
worst
gulp, gulp.
straight edge kid ever because like I host parties
Yeah.
and I drink shitloads of energy drinks.
Same. And Tyler remembers a couple of them. Because I have always been straight edge, and so I would throw parties. And I'd buy booze, and I'd buy weed, and everybody would have a good time, and I'd be sober. But energy drinks were like I bought them for myself, and then I would have them, and they were delicious. And I watched people get drunk, and I pierced nipples, and it was all really good. Parties are fun when you're
That
sober.
definitely did happen.
That was not a joke. I did.
There's actually this clothing line called Party Sober, and they actually have some pretty neat stuff.
Oh, that's neat.
I've been considering purchasing some, but I've been pretty broke the last month or so. I stopped
Struggling
working.
artist. Yeah.
I stopped working March 9th. That was the last day that I like worked, and I've been doing like producing and what else have I been doing?
How's producing going?
Are you just like freelancing?
Oh man, it's yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
Do you have
I
any
have.
schooling, or are you self-taught?
I'm self-taught. My guitarist had schooling, and then my cousin and his friend went to school for it, and they're wanting to collaborate.
Yeah, I meant to ask. Did you produce the EP, the first EP? The Starcross EP
No, the
by
first
yourself?
EP, 3 songs were done by Joseph Gerhard. The first, 5th, and last song, I believe. And then the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th songs were done by Nick Matthews from Get Scared.
Okay.
There's a 7th song on there that's not on the physical release. It's just on the digital.
I think I just
one we
noticed
did.
that now.
Yeah,
'Cause I
Don't
have the
Write Love on
physical
Your
one.
Arms for Nothing. That's a song that we completely wrote, produced, engineered, mixed, mastered, everything ourselves.
I write love on my arms for nothing
Don't
all
write
the
love.
time.
Don't write love on your arms.
Can you tell me why? Is there danger behind this? Should
So-
I stop doing that? It's like I wake up.
I
every
actually
morning, that's my
I
first
wrote that
therapy.
song. So back in high school, I think I was like
Well,
15 or
The
16 or
title
something like
Of
that.
course, back in high school.
I think I was like 15 at the time. There was like this whole To Write Love on Our Arms Day or whatever.
That, yeah.
And like I saw people that had like love written on their arms, and then they had like fresh cuts on their arms, and
Cute.
like I was like, don't do that for nothing. Like if you want to do better, then do better. And so I ended up writing the song. It was like anti-suicide, anti-substance abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the lyrics. I can only remember it when we're like playing the song. It's like, I know it hurts when you feel you're standing all alone, like no one understands what you're going through. What the fuck?
You said you wrote this when you were like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even because...
And when you fall and no one picks you up, when you're low, it might feel like the world is trying to kill you. Don't let your suffering be for nothing. I know you can get through this. Don't write love in your arms for nothing.
For 16, it's angsty. I mean, it is. But for 16, those are good lyrics, you know?
Yeah, and it's still... It's a song that we still play to this day.
Yeah.
Almost 9 years later.
So, let me ask you this. What do you consider the genre of your music to be?
Rock.
Yeah, just general rock?
Just rock. We have like 2 or 3 songs that are like pop punk, so we got labeled as a pop punk band. And then
Well,
we
that happened to
have
us, too.
then we have like the harder like 2000s MTV kind of rock.
Yeah.
Like we have stuff that's very influenced by like anything that John Feldman did, like The Used and Story of the Year, and then
I got like
even some
heavy
Hawthorne
Mayday
Heights.
Parade vibes.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit, yeah.
So, 2 follow-up questions. One, as musicians in bands that have performed and will continue to perform, whether they're the same name or not, do you feel that the local scene or the music scene in general, especially with rock music, has diminished? And if so, because that affects all of us, how do we fix it? Because I asked this because we were talking about doing DIY shows when we start coming back from writing this album, and
that's what I do.
right, and
That's what I'm getting back to.
Yeah, and so we haven't been on a stage for
2 years.
almost 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And when
It sucks.
even beforehand, the shows weren't big, especially in the local scene, because of the type of genre and type of music that we were playing. The scene started diminishing when we were there. Now it's been 2.5 years. We don't know what the scene looks like now. So we were talking about doing DIY stuff, and I was thinking in my head, if we tried to promote ourselves, do a DIY, get the venue, sell tickets, does anybody even give a shit anymore? You know,
That's how we're putting on
always
our last
scary,
show.
you
Like,
know?
I booked Club Red myself. Good friends with Paul Benson, the audio engineer there.
Yeah.
And actually, he was audio engineer. Now he does like the booking and shit there. He's a really cool dude. Really easy to work with. Yeah, he's really helping us out with this last show. We were trying to do it a little bit earlier, but like, so we put out our last EP, the acoustic EP, Watch It Break, on April 13th, and we wanted to do a show around then. The soonest date that they had available was June 22nd, on like a weekend date. So we're like, okay, I guess we're putting out the EP, and then we're gonna play this Michael Barr show, and then we're gonna a month or 2 later do our actual last show.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as the scene, it's changed a lot, and I've been kind of out of the scene for a while. Just been kind of doing my own thing, trying to like get a handle on like myself, my emotions, and like all the bullshit that I've been going through the last couple years.
Well, what is it? It's help yourself before you can help others, and your music really pertains to helping other people through the word of mouth, word of voice, and you kind of have to be all there in order to make other people all there too. So that makes a lot of sense that you'd be working on yourself for sure.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't take the time to do that.
No.
So that's when you see people and bands and whole like scenes collapse and
Well,
shit.
it creates
I
mixed
feel like
emotions.
the genre post-hardcore itself kind of glamorizes being sad.
Yeah, it kind of like in an ironic way because they're always talking about how to keep yourself.
And that
from being
might
sad.
be how it is now. At least from my perspective, what it was being able to relate
Yeah.
to that.
Yeah,
To,
That's
like,
definitely
relatable.
to like
definitely a large
to
part
not
as well.
feel alone.
Yeah.
And that was the big thing because like I was struggling with my mental health when I was a teenager. I felt isolated. I was bullied, and
Right.
it was just bad time. And then I found this music, and it's like, okay, well, other people have gone through things like this, and they're doing fine, so I can do fine too.
See, the genre is made fun of because of the content. It's very, it's sad and it's full of emotions, and it's angsty, and angst has always gotten a bad name. And then personally, I try to stay away from angsty music because it's just not for me. However, I don't disagree with the content of the music itself. Pop punk or post-hardcore, a lot of them talk about a lot of feelings and emotions and how people can deal with them or how they dealt with it. And emo music, it's not my cup of tea, but I don't disagree with it because they're trying to do something, and people get mad at that. What do you try? Like, they can fix
Well,
themselves.
people like to get mad about
They
everything.
do.
Yeah.
It is true. And I used
You can't
to
really
be,
fixate on what people get mad at because
No.
they'll get mad at whatever they want.
And so it's crazy because it gets a lot of bad rep, and it's trying to do a good thing. Maybe some of them, not
Some
so
of it,
much.
yeah. Like I have another song on that same EP. It's called "Say I'll Never Go." I had this friend also in high school, who, like, we started hanging out, and then it felt like all I ever did was complain about things that were going on in my life, and then I apologized to her about it, and she's like, "You need to let it out somehow."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, that understanding, that patience, those simple words just like struck a chord.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to remember what the exact lyric was. It's in the chorus.
Don't be sad and down. Everything's okay. Everything's super fine.
Bro, I like had it in my head, and then you just like,
Sorry.
"You're always there when I need you, when I need to let something out. You said that I could complain, need to let it out somehow."
Right. Again,
Like it's so simple.
it is.
And like when people are going through things, like some people don't understand that like there's going to be people that always have something to complain about, and it's not just because they want to complain, it's because they actually have shit going on.
Yeah.
And so like I actually had shit going on, and like a lot of people like I didn't used to open up, and then I started opening up, and
You're
a lot
doing
of people
fine
just
job now. Yeah, it's pretty neat.
I mean, I'm doing a lot better now.
For sure.
I'm a 26-year-old man now.
You're 26?
Yeah.
I didn't know you were that much older. That's neat.
Yeah.
You're almost 30 years fucking old.
I'm
still
on
doing
the.
this too, though, you know. Like
Yeah.
this, it shows a lot of high school. A lot of this comes from high school. You know, we started this in high school. You started this in high school. You know, and a lot of this it kind of continues. You've grown. You're an adult now. A lot of that stays with you, but the feelings have matured. They're not so
It's-
confused. Like you
It's
have
more so
them-
the understanding
Right.
of the experience.
Right, you're older, and so you've gone through even more, and then you've developed, you know, that you understand. You're developed to the point where you know how to control it or even fix it when you didn't beforehand.
Right.
And it comes from there. So a lot, you know, high school angst, whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it, it follows you. Some people
I
portray
feel
it
like we
differently.
aren't taught how to handle it either.
No, there's.
Well, we're told to suck it, up.
Yeah.
Get over it. It's just
Yeah.
a phase. You'll be fine. No, I mean, yes.
No, depression is a very
know,
very
right.
real thing. It's not just teen angst. Like, I still to this day struggle with depression and anxiety, like almost on the daily. But it's doing something like. For me, it's being on the move, working on all these other projects, and
Yeah.
you know, making sure that bills get paid and everything.
Yeah.
And taking care of my friends. Other people, it's meditation. Other people, it's medication. There's no wrong way to feel better.
Right.
Like,
unless
it's hard drugs.
Yes.
Unless
Yeah.
it's
Like,
shooting up a school or hard drugs.
yeah, but I'm talking like whatever you do for yourself that's like not affecting other people. Like,
do it.
Like if you need medication because you have an actual chemical imbalance, then like absolutely. If your brain is not producing the right chemicals,
Well,
that's my girlfriend, and she takes
There's-
Starcross for it. It doesn't make her insane by any means. She
I
needs
have this
it.
argument though, because when you meditate, you actually change the brain chemistry. You're like resetting it. So when you're depressed, you have like low dopamine or low serotonin or whatever chemicals that make you feel good. But
for some people it's low. Other people can't produce the same chemicals,
Right.
so they need something.
But I feel like our society doesn't fully understand the fact that we can actually manipulate that ourselves just by, like, positive thinking is actually a legitimate thing that can manipulate the brain chemistry, or like taking your mind taking your mind off of things to work on things. Like, you can induce the meditative state by creating music or creating art or being creative or working on something you're passionate about. So there's that, or just straight meditating. Like, we can manipulate the chemistry in our brain almost on a whim, and I don't feel like we understand that. So, especially children, I don't think they understand that.
Well, some people can, some people can't. There are people that actually have.
I'm
things
not
that are,
negating that there are people, but I don't think it's as many people as we think. I think a lot of people get in this ruminated cycle of being depressed, and I'm so depressed, and I'm thinking about being down, so I'm down.
Yeah, I know someone like that.
I was like that.
Yeah, I was like that as well. Just like getting so stuck being depressed, and like
You just perpetuate a cycle that you've self-created, and you don't understand how to get out of it.
so it can also become addicting, because
Yes, it is very, like, it makes you feel good to be sad for some reason.
well, not necessarily that, but like the attention that you get from being like that, like that can become addictive for some people, and so they put themselves in this state, and then it just like draws people to them, like the people that want to like heal the injured animal, you know.
Right.
And like people love caretakers, and so
People want to be taken care of.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have a couple more minutes. I want to end this on a good note.
We only have 1 minute before the camera shuts off.
Okay.
We
To
did
end
an
this,
hour.
We did an hour. We talked an hour with Brian, Brendan,
Brian.
Alex,
Aaron Quintero. You son of a bitch.
He knows. I want to end this on a
He's
good
just
note.
fucking with you.
I think we came to the conclusion earlier in the show that all anal is gay anal.
Gaynal.
Was that gaynal?
Gaynal.
Was that what we came to the conclusion of? Is this like, should we put out a report, get some scientists on it?
Yeah, we'll do a scientific analysis on anal sex and determine it's gay.
All right. Well, that ends our show. For
Only
your
drink
thoughts.
your coffee once per day.
Only drink your coffee once per day, and don't drink NOS energy drinks or energy drinks, period.
We get sued by them.
Oh, excuse me. Bleep energy drinks. All right.
I love energy drinks. So.
That'll do it for us today.
This concludes Your Thoughts podcast.
Tune in next time where we talk to We Don't Know Yet, but we'll figure it out. You guys enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for tuning in, and we will listen to you later.